Hi, everybody. We're going to start lesson 18 today. It's the last lesson of this unit, and it's basically a wrap-up of everything we've done so far. So let's take a look at your goal for the day and what we're supposed to be doing. So you're supposed to know how to do the graphs and the equations to show relationships involving area, volume, and exponents. Creating tables and graphs that show different kinds of relationships between amounts, and being able to write equations that describe relationships with area and volume. So we're going to do the warm-up. That looks like this. So I have my book open. So in the first part it says which one doesn't belong. So pause the video, think of one. They all have a reason that they couldn't belong. But you pause and look at that and see what you think. So for A, this is called the origin, the point 0 in the middle, and that is the only one that starts there. It's also the only one with points 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and 4, 4. If you're going up like this. For B is the only one that decreases. So if it's going down this way. So this one is going up. This one's going down. If you chose C, you might have said the only one where the points are not in a line. So it's more curved, going up like that. And the points are not equally spaced. You see how some of them are further apart. These are close together. These are further apart. And for D, it's the only one that's flat. Just goes straight across. All right, so we're going to move on to section 18.2, which is called Making a Banner. And Mai is creating a rectangular banner to advertise the school play. The material for the banner is sold by the square foot. Mai has enough money to buy a 36 square feet of material. She is trying to decide on the length and width of the banner. So let's go to that on here. All right, so it's the same as on the slideshow, but I want to show you on here. So if we start up, if the length is 6 feet, what is the width? But so if we're getting so six times something equals 36, right? So let's say it's x is equal to 6, because 6 times 6 is 36. If the length is 4 feet, then I'm going to do, since we're using x, I really should be using the algebraic dot to show multiplication, so you don't get confused. So 4 times x, or I could just write 4x equals 36. X is equal to 9. And if the length is 9 feet, what is the width? Well, it's the opposite of this one. So 9 times 4, so x is equal to 4. Okay, so if we're looking at the next question, it says explain, that's number 3. Let's look at number 4. And that says to find different combinations of length and width that give an area of 36 square feet. Mai uses the equation W equals 36 over L, where W is the width and L is the length. Compare your strategy and Mai's method for finding the width. How are they alike? How are they different? So go ahead and pause that and then come back after you answer that question. All right, so my method, I use 6x equals 36, 4x equals 36, and 9x equals 36. So really I was dividing by each of those, because in 6x equals 36, I'm dividing by 6 to get x equals 6. 36 divided by 6 is 6. So it's very similar to what Maya's method is, because I'm just using x instead of w. So that's the difference, is that they're saying width and length, and I'm saying x is the variable, and it's just set up a little bit differently. But they're the same because we're both dividing them by the length. Okay? Okay, so the next question, number 5, says use several combinations of length and width to create a graph that shows the relationship between the side lengths of various rectangles with area 36 square feet. So I made a little table here, length and width, from the problem that we did here. So if the length is 6, the width is going to be 6. If the length is 4, the width is going to be 9. And if the length is 9, the width is going to be 4. So I'm going to put that on my graph. So the first one, these are called ordered pairs. So I'm going to put 6. If I go over 6 and up 6, I'm going to have my dot be there. And if I have a length, here's length on the bottom. So if I have a length of 4, then my width is going to be 9, which is in between those two. And if I have a length of 9, my width is going to be 4. Now, if I want to, I can add more combinations. Let's say if my length is 1, it's going to be 1 by 36, right? We're looking for all combinations that can equal 36. So if my length is 2, 2 times what equals 36? Well, 18 does. So 18 times 2 is 36. So that's showing my length at the bottom and my width here, 18 to 2. What about 3 in the middle here? 3 times 12, right? So my dot would be there. And then if we're switching it around and making, instead of the width being 12, the length is 12. Well, 12 times 3, so you would put your dot there. And then 18 times 2. And way over here, 36 times 1. So I hope that you can see that. Let me pull it up a little bit. So again, on this side it was 12 and 3, 18 and 2, 36 and 1. Okay, so explain how the graph describes the relationship between length and width for different rectangles. So I'm going to write a sentence frame here. So as something increases, then something decreases. So if as the length gets longer, the length increases, the width decreases. And you could say that the other way around too. As width increases, length decreases. Okay? All right, and then number 7 asks, suppose my use the equation L equals 36 over W to find the length for different values of the width. Would the graph be different if she graphed length on the vertical axis and width on the horizontal axis? Explain how you know. Well, because we graphed everything, the graph would look exactly the same. And you can try that if you want to. All right, let's move on to 18.3. All right, so for number 7, let's write that down. The graph would look the same. And they would just be switched around, right? The values for length and width would be switched. So the values of length and width would be switched. Okay, so for 18.3, cereal boxes. A cereal manufacturer needs to design a cereal box that has a volume of 225 cubic inches and a height that is no more than 15. The designers know the volume of a rectangular prism can be calculated by multiplying the area of its base and its height. Complete the table with pairs of values that will make the volume 225 inches cubed. All right, so I want you to pause and try to do that on your own. Okay, so hopefully you got the graph filled out. Here's the information. So we know that the table with the pairs of values that will make the volume the volume is 225. So you need to find the base or the height in each situation. So to find, we know 225 divided by 75 is 3. So if it's 75, the height is going to be 3. And then we can do the same, divide 225 by 5, we get 45. 225 divided by 9 is 25. 225 divided by 12 is 18.754, but we rounded off to 18.75. 25 divided by 15 is 15. And 225 divided by 7.5 is 30, which I did here. All right, so number 3 says write an equation that shows how the area of the base A is affected by changes in the height H for different rectangular prisms with volume 225 inches cubed. Okay, so hopefully you can do that. Pause for a second and see if you can do that. So the area of the base. So if A is equal to the area or the volume, which was 225 divided by the height. So the base is, they're calling it the base because they're combining the other two, so that the width and the length are combined in that one, and then they're dividing by the height. So the base divided by height. I'm sorry, surface area. Volume divided by height would equal the base. Okay, so that is 225 divided by H, or anything equivalent to that. which we've discussed, so you should know what that means. All right, so we are moving on to 18.4. Oh, actually, they want you to plot the ordered pairs before we move on. All right, so what exactly does that mean? Well, we discussed it before. So we have to use the table you just made, the height. So pause for 1 second. Let's see. Okay, so I paused so I could write my table over here. So we have our height is 3, the base is 75, and it's the area of the base. So if my height is 3, my base is 75. So that's called an ordered pair. And it always does across and then up. So in this case, the height is first and then the base, and the height is here. Make sure you put them in the right place when you have to read what the graph says so that you can put them in the right order. Okay, so then we have 5, so we're going over here, and 45, and 25, and, oops, I wrote it the wrong way. It should be 9 and 25. And then 12 and 18.6, 18.75, sorry. This is right about there. And then 15 and 5. And then they have 7.5 down here, which is totally out of order. But we'll do 7.5 by 30. Okay. Okay, so for 18.4, multiplying mosquitoes, there are 4 problems. I want you to pause and try to do these 4, and then come back and watch the video and see if you can figure it out. All right, so good luck. Okay, so for number 3, it says describe the graph. Compare how the data, equation, and graph illustrate the relationship between the day in the study and the number of mosquitoes. So hopefully you had paused this and answered some of those questions. These are some of the things you could have said, that the graph increases and rises quickly after the first few days. There are bigger and bigger jumps as more days go on, and they are doubling each day. So then it says if the pattern continues, how many mosquitoes will there be on day 6? So if it's doubling each day and there were 32 on the 5th day, then on the 6th day there will be 64. Okay, guys, so I hope you understood everything. If you didn't, you can email me. And remember, we have our chats every day at 10. So you need to do the cool down for lesson 18. You need to do the practice problems for lesson 18. And then, like I said in the chat, after this is the end of unit 6. So I put all of the lessons on Khan Academy as practice. It does not mean you have to do all 74 problems. That's way too many. So find the lessons. If go through what you can. If it goes quickly, maybe you can do them all. But I'm not assigning anything new for Thursday and Friday. So that's what I want you to be doing, is the Khan Academy lessons. They sometimes go quickly, but try to focus on the ones for things that are more difficult for you. And that way you can learn how to do them. And then check with me during the chats of things you don't know how to do. I'm also going to be going over the 2 spiral maps because I know there's some things on there that we haven't done yet, like mean, median, and mode. And so I'll be going over that and posting videos for those as well. Okay? I hope you're all doing well. I miss you guys. Bye.